Just a moment ago you mentioned stress and anxiety and the toll that it can take on
Right.
your body, even by depleting the nutrients of your body, which starts, I guess, a vicious cycle.
That's correct.
Downward spiral, or snowball, as they like to say in the military. Our youth today, our young people, they're involved in sports, they're involved in video games, they've got girlfriends and boyfriends, they have to drive themselves around. We live in a busy, big city here in Atlanta.
A lot going on.
What do? How do they cope with the issues that they're having with your help?
Well, this is a really great question. Sadly, I don't see as many young people as I'd like to see. However, that being said, when I do an evaluation on young people and they're willing to work with me, they do remarkably well. And what I mean by that is anytime, for example, you're under a lot of stress, and let's not kid, our kids today are probably under much greater stress than we ever were at their age. For example, my daughters tell me that routinely while they're at school, people ask them anything from, will you do this criminal act, to will you have sex with me, to do you want to have this drug with me? And they said that these things abound so much that initially it shocked them and they weren't prepared to handle it. They said one of the most stressful things about initially going to middle school and high school was the number of people, the sheer volume of people that asked them to do things that weren't consistent with what they learned as being of good breeding or good character or being of good moral fiber. So they were very, very confused, and they didn't partake in any criminal activities, damaging property, having sex prematurely, meaning before they were physically and emotionally ready, and so forth. And we talked about this. And one of the reasons that I think, and I'm not going to get into the psychological aspect of this, I'm going to focus primarily on the nutritional aspect of helping kids that are highly stressed or that have attention deficit related problems, is these young people have tremendous deficiencies. One that I like to talk about a lot is magnesium. If you're low in magnesium, you're going to have a cascade of issues that can be so profound that your life can be forever altered. You're going to have low energy. You're going to tend to be anxious because magnesium is a critical factor in helping to dampen the nervous system so it's not overly reactive. So if you're deficient in magnesium, you're potentially going to have a brain and a nervous system that is highly overreactive and oversensitive. Magnesium is critical in helping to bring down that overreactivity, that overexcitement of the nervous system, to moderate it so that the individual isn't as overly reactive. And that's very, very important, because the more overly reactive the nervous system is, or that you are as an individual, the more reactive you get. And what's important is, for a healthy person, is to be able to readily adapt, not to have to over-adapt because they're deficient in something that, had it been present in the system wouldn't have had such a violent or an abrupt swing into, to the right or to the left. So B vitamins is another one, very, very, very important. Essential fatty acids, getting enough protein in the diet. It's remarkable to me when I look at some of the food journals of the young people that come in, I don't know what their moms and dads are thinking. It's one processed treat after another, after another, after another. I have kids that never eat vegetables in the course of a day, never drink water during the course of a day, never get a good protein source during the course of a day. Now, if you're a young woman who's menstruating and you don't get enough protein, for example, you can't make the hormones that are critical for allowing you to have your menses. And believe it or not, I actually find this. Sometimes I get young women on a sound diet alone, and all of a sudden they start to have their menses again, normally, predictably. And when that happens, of course, and it happens naturally, then they feel more vital. They don't feel like their hormonal balance is going from one surge to the next. So they're more calm, they're more adaptive, they feel better, they think better, they focus better. So find someone that can help you determine what's missing, what the weak links are in you physiologically by doing functional tests. And I can't say this strongly enough. These young people respond dramatically and wonderfully. And I've seen kids that get C's and D's go up to becoming A and B students by eating properly, getting more sleep, a little less time on the PlayStation 3, maybe getting rid of some friends that aren't good for them, if you will, and getting on proper supplementation. So if you're having trouble with any of these issues, find someone that is qualified to evaluate you or the person in your family, your son, your daughter that's having difficulty. Get it handled before they have a crisis with the law or a personal crisis where they fail out of school and the return trip can be long,